Good day, welcome to our Hustle Podcast. Today we have a special episode. We have two special guests. Kamran from London.
Well, I'm not a guest, right?
Sorry?
I'm not a guest.
You're a guest, but a man behind the scene of
True,
Podcast Hustle. So amazing to have you here also.
Thank you.
In front of the scene. Kamran, welcome.
Welcome, thank you, brother.
Yes, you're feeling good?
Alhamdulillah.
I'm glad to have you here.
Thank you, brother.
It's an
Thank you.
honor for us also. And glad to have you here, Wasim, instead of behind the scenes, in front of the scenes right now.
Yeah, normally I'm behind the camera, right?
I know, exactly. But now it's amazing for people also to see you. So welcome.
Thank you, brother.
Hustle, what do you think about if you hear the word hustle?
Things about working hard,
Definitely.
putting your business hat on, and I'd probably say making things happen.
The good one. Wasim?
You know, when I think about hustle, it's like you are somewhere and you want to get somewhere else, but nobody is letting you get there.
So
But
it's
you
your
still
own
have
road.
to get there. Yeah,
It's
you
your
have
own
to
road.
climb, crawl,
Yeah.
whatever you got to do, you got to get
I
there.
feel
You know?
So every hustle is really special for it.
Yeah, I
for,
think so, yeah.
Okay, for each one. So we're gonna talk about your past, your present, your future,
Yeah.
and just be open. It's a real podcast. Like if we were outside without
No
cameras.
worries, no worries.
So just
Alhamdulillah.
feel good, be open. Kamran, 12 years old. Where's Kamran at?
12 years old, probably walking towards school bus in Bradford.
Bradford. That's where you're born also.
Born and bred Bradford.
Nice.
For those I don't know, it's in the north of England.
North of England, okay.
It's a mini Pakistan, as they say.
Oh, serious?
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, I know a lot of Pakistani lives in
Alhamdulillah.
Bradford, but
I'd say it's one of the richest cities in the north of England.
that's a positive sign.
Really?
Alhamdulillah. It has probably more supercars per square mile than Mayfair.
I see you love the cars. The house is beginning. I see you love the cars, but just go on.
A lot of entrepreneurs.
It's full of entrepreneurs, I'd say.
So many people hustling, right?
It's a split.
Hmm.
50 people are on their own hustle,
Yeah.
and then 50% are on the legit hustle.
Right.
And then when
Two type of hustle.
yeah, and when Kamran was like 12 years old, where did he study? What was your drive?
So my drive at the time was I've got a huge family based in Bradford. I'm probably talking maybe 500 members. It's a huge family.
Football club.
Football club.
Football club.
And a set of fans, yeah.
Yeah.
But my father come in the 60s, relatives come in the 60s.
Yeah.
They worked in the textile mills
Yes,
in the
they worked
60s.
hard, yeah.
So we seen the hustle from there.
Nice.
Sometimes parents, 20 people sharing a house
Wow.
before the wives had come,
Yeah.
before they had children.
Yeah.
So that was the start of the hustle. We didn't see that. We was told about it later
Yeah,
on.
you heard the stories.
But yeah, that was the start.
Let me
of
ask
the
you a
hustle.
question about that. It's interesting that you
Yeah.
say that. Did you also find at that time people were much more into like sharing?
Yeah, 100%.
Sharing and caring?
So sharing is one thing, but the way we purchased houses then
Yeah.
was that we had something which you may have in Morocco.
Yeah, definitely.
Call a committee system.
Right.
Yeah.
Where people had all shared their money into a pot.
Yeah.
Everybody pays into that pot, and they had bought houses then, cash.
I feel you. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Until one person has one, then the second one, then the third, then the
Yeah.
fourth, and then that's how we purchased houses.
To be honest, if I compare with Moroccan families, and I don't know if it's the same, similar at the Pakistani families, that time was the best time, I think, because why you sharing a room with 8 people?
Yep. So
If someone is, and give you an example, someone's kicking each other, everyone is laughing, you understand me? But now you have big houses
yes.
with 3 people instead of 100 people, you understand me? So I love that kind of time, but just go on.
So that was a city. 12 years old. I'm one of 3 brothers.
Okay.
So I'm the youngest of the 3.
You're the youngest.
I'm the youngest of the 3. So
Okay.
alhamdulillah, I got a bit of favored treatment.
I thought something like that.
But after 12 years old, school. In UK, we kind of have from 12 to possibly 18, we have the same school until we leave.
Like in Holland.
Yeah, until we leave for university.
Yeah.
At 18, I left for university.
You're going very fast from 12 to 18, bam, directly.
Yeah,
But there was something between that, I think.
There was, you've got 14, 15, 16,
Yeah.
17. Most of my years there was spent playing cricket.
That's the thing I want to find it. Okay.
So
definitely.
I played
Cricket.
I played professionally. I used to get paid to play cricket.
So you were a professional before.
I was a professional before I moved to university.
Okay, normally we have the audience over there. We need to give you applause because you was professional.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, serious. Just go on. You was a professional.
So I was also good at football,
Oh, so you go double now.
Yeah,
Applause again.
absolutely,
You go double.
absolutely. So 2 claps, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, okay. A superhero then.
So most of the years from 12 to 16 to 17 was based around, you do your 9 to 3, which is school, and then from 5 to 7 would be your madrasa.
Madrasa.
So-
Can you explain madrasa for people?
Yeah, so that's where we studied the Quran. We'd go, and it's a bit different now because the madrasas now are more or less weekend madrasas.
Yeah.
We would go every day.
And you'd get smacked, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they don't anymore.
You'd get-
yeah, it's true.
actually, it's not even smacking. You'd get beaten up properly.
Yeah.
you-
But
yeah.
is that for a purpose or is that like traditional? Is that
No,
culture?
it's not traditional.
Yeah, for the people, you know.
It's
for the people to
no,
not
no, it's
understand it.
discipline.
It's educational.
It's discipline.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
discipline as well. And plus, when you're looking at classes of 30, 40
Yeah.
boys, they're very hard to control without a stick. You know?
I understand.
And to be fair, I think, look, we have a little bit of a different background, but obviously there's also some overlap, right?
Yeah.
Because I grew up in Rotterdam, the Netherlands. But this is like a cultural thing. For example,
Yeah.
in for example, Moroccan society, you have some guys who are like very hard to deal with as kids,
Definitely.
right? And
Some sneaky hard guys behind,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, exactly.
in the back of the class. I
Always,
understand.
always.
Yeah, yeah.
And the reality is that a lot of these kids, they unless they get some proper spanking, like they're not gonna
They
get
don't
straight.
realize.
To be honest, I didn't went to the class. I never went to Arabic classroom. Something it's because of my parents and stuff, private thing, divorce and thing. But never went. But I heard all the stories, so you can imagine. I know I have a better image than you guys
Yeah, yeah.
because I heard a story from you
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
from Dutch guys, Moroccans. So I have a crazy movie in my head.
Yeah.
You know,
They were the best years, though.
yeah, the
Yeah,
best years
I,
for me.
I agree with that.
Lovely.
Like,
Yeah?
I think like those were for me
Yeah.
because I went to a similar madrasa. The one I went to, we
Yeah.
used to go Friday evening. We used to stay there until
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon, and we would go home.
Yeah.
And when we had holidays, it was like the opposite. We would go like
Oh.
Sunday evening, I stay until Friday.
Yeah.
And the stuff that like how that formed me in terms of discipline.
Same age level, same age, like
Yeah,
20,
I think
12
like,
till
yeah,
8,
yeah.
12
No,
to 18.
Yeah.
Start earlier.
Yeah,
Start
10,
earlier.
7,
8, I
6.
think it's 8.
Yeah, 8, okay.
8 till
Yeah.
I was there like 8 till
Well, when it
14.
gets serious, it's like more like 12, 11, 12.
No,
Yeah.
6 years old. I mean,
Yeah.
6.
No, about
Serious from 6.
Islamic, right?
Yeah, no.
But
From
like
6.
when you're between 12 and 18, you realize life better. That's
Yeah,
what I mean.
absolutely.
So how was it for you at that moment?
I mean, let me tell you something
Yeah.
from my experience.
Tell me.
At that time, you hated it
Yeah,
like to the
yeah.
max. You're like,
Yeah.
why do I have to be here, right?
And your parents are straight driving,
exactly.
even if you say why.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I don't want to go. You have to. You have no choice.
Yeah.
I'm talking now. We're looking back. If you would agree with
Yeah.
me, and then now we're saying like, oh man, this was great for like looking back.
I know, yeah.
At that time, no.
Yeah, I feel, yeah.
Best life lesson. I mean,
Yeah, because you didn't realize how it's going to change you.
alhamdulillah,
At
it's
this
the
moment,
best, it's the best
alhamdulillah.
life. And you know, to have the Quran is important.
Al-Quran, definitely.
I know adults now that are trying to learn it. They're 35,
Subhanallah,
40,
yeah.
45, 50.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
We didn't appreciate it then, but now I'm close to a certain age.
Yeah.
I appreciate that whole schooling.
So that
for-
means we need to shout out to our parents. Alhamdulillah. Give a big shout out to our parents. Definitely.
the imams,
The imams also, of course.
to control 40 children, you know?
It's insane.
You're still stuck in the 40 children.
Crazy, brother.
I feel you, brother. But is it like an old classroom for people image? Like,
yes.
Can you
very,
give an image?
Very. So you have I'd
Old
say
building and-
old buildings, rows of tables, maybe 15, 20 sitting on one table.
Nice.
Heads moving like this.
Yeah, there's that.
you know,
Yeah.
heads moving
Is
constantly.
is that a reason behind it? Or?
No, it's just it's cultural. It's just the way they recite. They think they need to move, and
Yeah.
you don't really need to move, do you?
But you was one of them moving also?
No, not really. I was
You
still.
know, you was the
I was
quiet.
scared of the sick.
Oh, okay, I understand you. But alhamdulillah, in between time, because you played cricket, you said?
So yeah, so we'd fit cricket in. So cricket training's a bit different to football.
Yeah.
We do depending on the weather. So cricket seasonal.
Okay.
You start it from around March, April time, and
Yeah.
the season finishes around September time.
Oh, okay, understand.
So when there's more light,
Yeah.
So after that we'd go train cricket maybe 1 hour twice a week.
Yeah.
Play Saturday,
What
play Sunday.
age you was when he was serious? 16, 15?
I played in the first team then when I was 15. I was getting paid £1 a run.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, when I
A
was
pounder
per run.
per run?
Per run.
Can you tell people what that means?
So for every run you get in cricket, you'd get paid £1.
like a baseball run?
Similar,
Some
but,
similar?
but
Yeah,
shorter, yeah.
cricket, you run like from this end to this end
the
and
end.
then back. That's one run, I believe, right?
Yeah, that's one.
Oh, so you go straight
That's
and
it.
the other way. Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
If you
understand.
come back the other way, then it's 2 runs.
So you don't. So every run you deserve £1.
you get paid £1.
£1. I think you deserve £1,000 in one
Yeah,
day or
brother.
not.
For the wallahi.
Because he was only Kamran was only. Don't stop.
Don't stop.
Awesome.
But you have to hit the ball first. I mean, before you can run, right? You can't just run.
Oh yeah. So
Like
they.
baseball home run, you have to hit it first and then run. You can't just run without hitting the ball.
Okay. So at that moment, you hit the ball. Your family, Pakistani family, is watching. I think.
Yes. No. Families never watch cricket.
Okay.
That support wasn't there for us.
Serious?
So when our parents come in the 60s, they're the most respectable thing at the time was doctors, lawyers, engineers.
Yeah.
Sport was a forbidden fruit. So
Because-
sport was entertainment. It wasn't known as a job.
Exactly. Because that was not at that moment like.
You know, like WWE, entertainment. That's what they're seeing it as. This is entertainment.
Yeah.
They're wasting the time.
Exactly. They
You know?
deserve nothing. They're wasting.
Wasting the time. So I never had my father come. He never watched.
But was
me.
it hard for you because I think other players
No,
they
bro,
took their fathers, or was it only?
They did. So lots of families always have their parents. But I had my 2 older brothers, so alhamdulillah, that was enough.
Alhamdulillah, that was always with
They
you.
were always with me.
Yeah. And 12 to 18, did you have also football between that, or
Football between that.
Okay.
So football would be Saturdays, Sundays, played to more or less just under semi-pro level.
Yeah. And Saturday, which club you played, or?
So Saturday, depending on the season, we used to play for a local team called Sandy Lane. It was a local non-league team.
Non-league team,
Division
yeah.
7.
Yeah.
And about 17, I left, and then it was a case of playing with friends
Yeah, I understand.
once a week, whether it's 5-a-side, 7-a-side,
Yeah.
11-a-side.
Because if you look at football and cricket, do you see connections with that, Wasim? Huh?
Yeah, sport.
sport.
Yeah.
Both sport, but do you see connection in like Pakistani people are really into cricket, right? Or Indian people?
Well, I know nothing about that, so I wouldn't
Yeah.
know. Of course, it's huge because of the British colonialism, right?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah,
Because it was big in Britain, and they.
they brought it.
I mean, you would know
That's
much better
correct,
than I do. They
Yeah.
brought it to like the subcontinent. It's huge in India. It's huge in Australia,
Yeah.
West Indies, South Africa. You know these places.
So I mean, just to give you a background of cricket,
Yeah.
the most watched game in the world for sports in the world is Pakistan versus India.
Cricket, yeah. So
If you look at the population, right?
I saw something like that.
So you look at the population, 1.2 billion in India, yeah?
Yeah.
Then you've got over 250 million in Pakistan.
So they like three.
Most of them are watching that game. And that's not including the foreign expat Pakistanis and other people that love the game, the English, the Aussies.
So it's the most watching game.
It's the most watched game in the world of sports.
You know, just
Serious?
It's crazy.
Put things in perspective. When we have the World Championship football,
Yeah.
that's nothing compared when you have cricket going on.
Serious?
Yes, just a slice in terms of how many people are watching it.
But that means also there is a lot of business right now going
There
on.
is, but the money's not. The money's based separately. It's not as high, but they base it around central contracts.
Yeah, because now, 12 to 18, we done it. We got you now about cricket and football. But was there a hustle mindset for you between the...
Yeah, absolutely. So look, the reason I brought up the amount of family that I have in Bradford is because most of them, they hustle. They all come from nothing, to be fair. I mean, mainly, I'd probably say taxi drivers mainly, cab drivers, probably the same still now.
Why is that?
Because I'll tell you why that is.
Yeah, it's funny
The
because-
reason they're going to cab because you're self-employed. It means whenever they want to go to Pakistan and visit their families, they can take 3 months off, not having to worry about
I
work.
understand, yeah.
That's why that job made sense, and it was good money at the time. So you got to remember, I mean, these families come. Not only did they buy their houses in England, they then use that money just from the taxis to build in Pakistan as well. So they
That's
have
serious.
family
Analysis.
homes there,
Yeah.
they have homes here, and
But-
they're all cash paid.
Okay.
There's no mortgages.
Yeah. It's very interesting, to be honest, because if you go to England, every Uber driver
Yeah.
is Kamran.
Or
Pakistani is
Imran.
or Imran. You know, so what I mean is like,
Maybe they just perfected the art of cloning people. You
I
know?
think something like that.
They love driving.
Yeah.
They just drive. No, but it's
No,
nice.
But it's
Yeah.
funny, but maybe I don't know if this is true. Just came up with this. Do you think it also comes from the fact that, like, you know, people from like Asia in general, they have this sort of service mentality?
Yeah, so so
that's a good one.
It's absolutely that, and they're the lowest paid service mentality.
Yeah.
So you know you see this everywhere. It's not just in the UK. If you go to Qatar, if you go to Abu Dhabi, if you go to Dubai,
Yeah, same thing.
Most of the foreign workers, the workers that are doing the Ubers, it's your Pakistani, Afghan, South Asians.
Yeah.
I can put that South Asians. They're your most because it's a job for them, and it's
it's a job.
you know they're in the car, they can do whatever they want.
Nice. But alhamdulillah, so your background is it's a lot of sport mentioned, but also religion.
Yeah, religion's the biggest thing, brother. To be fair,
Yes, number one for you.
I think look, my background of my family is quite religious.
Nice.
From when they come.
Yeah.
My older brother, who's not around no more, he died from cancer about 10 years ago. He was a big influence on my life. He was very religious. So he put the right values in us, right ethics in us. But the meaning behind them ethics and values, not just, do this. There's a reason behind why you have to do this. This is the benefit. This is the long-term project, just like any other business.
I understand.
And this is where you will get to at the end.
But subhanAllah, because we are now getting to the past. But if we talk about religion, Wasim, also for you, because I know you work a lot with your companies, but if you hustle so much and there is coming more business, is your religion sometimes going like this? Like,
Look, religion is always going like this. Because we are humans. We're not perfect. We're weak.
We're weak, yeah.
So that's just a fact. The thing is, and I think that's also what Kamran is saying, is that based on your upbringing and the teachings that you've received, you have to combat that weakness. I mean, I actually wanted to just ask this question, so it's good that you brought it up, because a lot of times.
Brought a good question up.
It is it's a good question. Because sometimes in business this happens as well, and I'm sure in your type of business, you see an opportunity, and to take that opportunity, it's like, oh, but you know what? If I basically say A to the guy, I'll make more money. But is that as ethical? And how do you deal with this?
I think, look, you're brought up with certain values from when you're younger, and then values don't change because of money. Because money stays and you go with nothing. So if you have that mindset from the start, and that your tarbiyah is good at home, and your parents give you good values at home, then money's not a problem. It's a means, but it's
I
not.
understand you, but I'll give me an example, brother. When you made your first big transfer money, or doesn't matter, your company money or something else, so you met the first time big money. Was that a moment for you to do things instead of?
Brother, the first thing we do on any deal we do, the first thing, it's a rule. It's a rule of thumb. Any deal we do, the first bit of money, charity, then split, then dividends. First thing is give it in charity. Always.
Doesn't matter which business.
Doesn't matter which business, which player, which commercial deal. It doesn't matter to us.
But so that means when you started your business in the past, so every deal, doesn't matter which deal,
you give the first bit to charity, then you take yourself.
Mashallah, okay, that's beautiful.
So if you want barakah in your business, this is just.
Can you explain barakah for people?
Yeah, it's blessing.
Happiness.
It's happiness and blessing. But if you want that in your business, then you have to give to those that don't have what you have.
But so the moment the income boom, I'll give you example, 20K is coming inside, directly you think about the barakah.
So look, I'll give you an example. Look.
First thing, open to it.
Yeah. First thing that comes in 50,000. These are not real numbers, but I'll give you an example. We might take 2.5 and we say, look, this is to charity. Now split the rest.
And is that from an Islamic opinion, or is more your opinion?
No, that's from an Islamic opinion, because giving sadaqah helps with a lot of things. That's the first thing. And secondly, there's a hustle for two ways: hustle for the dunya, and then hustle for the akhirah. So you have to hustle both ways.
Explain the dunya akhirah for him.
So the dunya is
the world where we live.
Is your Louis Vuitton tops here, your Stone Island, your Dior trainers, your perfumes, and then obviously your hustle in the akhirah is your Jannah. To have wine that you can't.
The paradise.
The paradise, to have the wine that you can't drink here, the things that are forbidden here, to have the women of Jannah. So.
I love that one. That's why
all planned out, eh?
He planned that last word in the podcast. No, it's all, I understand definitely what you mean. Only this part is funny, Okay, I got him. To be honest, it's the first one who said it to me. But what you do right now, to be honest, there is one man behind the scene. I know he did projects. His name is Ali. He's also behind the scene right now. He did also some project where he said, if you buy a T-shirt or if you buy something from us, you remember that was him?
Yeah. There's.
You did it, right?
Yeah, sure. It's kind of similar, to what Kamran is saying. Like basically, you buy one thing, and for the same amount that you sold. You take off your cost. Obviously, you take it out, and then whatever the profit is, you divide it by 2. Half goes to charity.
Subhanallah.
And look, in the end of the day, we're all gonna die. We're all gonna go into the same grave. And
True.
you leave everything behind in this life, right? Like literally everything you have, everything you are, it remains here. What remains are your deeds.
Yeah.
And more money, it's not gonna make you more happy.
No, absolutely.
It makes certain things easier. You can do more charity, which is what I love about money. More money, it allows you to do more charity, but it's not gonna make you more happy. It's not gonna, there's even been a lot of research about this, right? I think the number was like $70,000. You make $70,000 a year, it brings you to like a plateau of happiness. It doesn't matter how much more money you make. On top of that, it doesn't make you more happy. No. It doesn't happen. Of course, having too little money will make you unhappy.
Absolutely.
Unhappy. Right. And I think
he spoke about Dior trainers and stuff. That means
you
need to be like,
that's the dunya, innit?
that's the dunya.
Yeah.
Because now we just spoke about happiness and barakah. That means spreading, share with money and everything and love. But if you look at like the past, how's everything? Get the structure and everything in your company.
So look,
after you're 18, what was your?
So look, when my whole thing was when I was 18, I'd left home. I'd left home early.
You left home.
I left home, so I went to university. I did well in my A levels. Allah knows how, because I was doing 2 types of hustle at the time.
Okay.
So my father was getting a bit worried, and when my A level results come, he was like, "Wow, you got this." Then my older brother, he was in London at the time, studying. He was at university.
Nice.
So my father said, "Go. Before you get involved with the rest of Bradford, go."
Because Bradford was very hard to grow up.
Bradford is it can be the best city, it can be the worst.
Okay.
So it has the most heroin comes from Bradford. It's the heroin capital of the UK.
Serious?
It's the heroin capital of the UK. Okay. So you know what people's hustle is?
Right.
Yeah. So
It's
there's 2 parts.
2 colors. You know which colors? Brown and white. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand you definitely.
That's the
But
hustle.
for the people who don't, I understand you. But
Yeah.
I understand you,
It's the hustle usually means it's either hard drugs like heroin that they go to selling, or they're entrepreneurs and they make business, but they make it happen big.
So there's nothing small
big.
over there.
Nothing small. Everything is.
It's a little America there.
Hence the supercars.
Yeah, it's everything or nothing.
Right.
It's all or nothing.
Yeah.
So you grew up with a hustle.
That's the mentality.
That's the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all or nothing.
That's funny, because if you look at the Dutch mentality, like nobody's really hustling here. It's all
nobody. Everyone's scared. Scared a little bit.
Exactly. Like it's more like
Scary a little bit.
everybody just like stay the same.
Yeah.
Don't hustle.
Yeah.
Don't try to get like ahead of others. They don't
Yeah.
appreciate it. Because if you look at the history of the Netherlands, there is this thing called it's a Christian country, but traditionally, although nowadays Christianity is disappeared for a big part.
True.
But in the specific branch of Christianity that was popular here in the Netherlands was called Calvinism. I'm not sure if that's the right word in English. There was a guy, his name was Johann Calvin, and his thing was being very sober. Everybody has to be the same. You even wear the same clothes. Everybody makes the same money. There's nobody's richer than the other one. It's like that's kind of the culture in the Netherlands, and it has its good sides.
Yes.
Like for example, our schooling, where like doesn't matter if you're like filthy rich or dirt poor, same school.
Yeah, right? There is no difference between.
There is no difference.
Yeah.
You can't
in the UK that there's a big difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a big
We don't
difference.
have this.
Yeah.
Like you have
True,
filthy rich parents.
yes.
You literally sit next to the kid that has parents on welfare. And you get the same education. But the flip side is like, if you're an entrepreneur, let's tax the crap out of this guy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There is that.
Is that? Can you find something of that in England?
It's the same everywhere you go, unless you go to the Middle East. I mean, you pay your tax.
We will come there.
We'll come there. Inshallah.
So, you went to university. You finished your university.
So I went to university, a bit of background university. I did sports science.
Sports science.
I did sports science,
Yeah.
hence my foray into sports.
Oh, from there, from your study.
Yeah.
And your background from.
So from the neighbour that I told you about, who was a cricket agent,
Yes.
he was hustling money. So I'd see loads of players come from Pakistan to play cricket. He'd do them in the local leagues. So every team was allowed one foreign player, cricketer, in the local leagues.
Interesting.
So he'd bring 100 cricketers a year, charge them all £2,000 each. By the end of, and this was 25 years ago, he was making 200 grand a year then.
Passive.
Passive.
Because it's just for him.
Then you know what he did after that? The hustle started,
Crazy.
right? Then he started making his own cricket clothing. The hustle got bigger.
And Pakistani got they got the industry.
Yeah. And everything comes from Pakistan cheap, and it's sold in England 7 times the price.
Oh, so he made double.
Quadruple.
Very nice. And so from there, you was with him
So from there, that's where the agent life
for yourself.
pricked my ears, but the money in cricket was never enough for me.
For you not, I understand you. Because
Maybe
you
for
had,
some
you had a
people-
vision.
Yeah,
you saw,
absolutely.
you saw the football world. I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, well, what was your age after university?
So university, by the time I'd left, 23, 24.
24, yeah.
I was working for one of the biggest telecom companies.
Yes.
I was a business consultant in the city of London.
Yes.
So I'd work with small businesses, selling them. Maybe if somebody wanted 100 devices, 100
Yeah.
laptops for...
You was the bridge for them.
I was a bridge. I was the person making the deals to happen.
Yeah.
So this is in the city of London. It's a square mile called the City of London. It's where probably 80% of London's money is earned. So you know, dealing with people...
Very intensive then.
Dealing with people with spreadsheets every day. That hustle was different.
You even have an
people
airport.
people come out with... There's no talking here. This is everything on computer. You know, there's no logic beyond the computer for them.
Yeah, I understand you. Yeah.
So this was a different hustle.
Crazy world.
But I did that for years. I did it for years. It paid me well, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, yeah.
And then with football, you know, there was
a love between the...
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
So
When did you make that switch? I mean, like if you're
Yeah.
making good money, right? And you're in this sort of corporate culture, and it's all, you know.
brother, you know, when people are in corporate cultures, they're happy because they're a pawn to the system.
Yeah.
You know, you're
course.
happy, you're 60, 70,000, you know, it's
Yeah.
like, I'm comfortable, you don't need to do
You
nothing
have your
more.
company
But
car.
you were stuck.
Yeah.
For me, I was stuck.
You were stuck.
For me, I was like, how do I not only make wealth for myself,
You were stuck.
but how do I look after my mother, my father, my brother, my sister, his children, their children, my friends?
But if you hold on this one, because you said my family, mother, and then you said my friends.
Yes.
For me, like, if I look to Pakistani, if I have a look to Pakistani people and Chinese people, what I'm seeing is crazy because it's similar.
Yes.
Chinese people, they look about a family. Everyone in their family and their friends stays in one circle, the business. Is that also in Pakistani family?
Similar.
Yeah?
Similar.
Almost.
I think, you know, if I speak for the Netherlands,
Yeah.
it's less so.
Yeah.
And I think the reason for that is also because a lot of deals go sour, you know? When you start to go into business with a family,
Yeah.
something happens, and then like basically that messes up the whole
Yeah,
family
I understand.
structure.
Yeah.
No, usually, to be fair, it's greed that stops that.
Yeah.
Right? That's what causes the issues. I always say if you have something on paper from the start,
There will never be some
alhamdulillah.
arguing.
Yeah, but, that's tough for, like,
It's
for
tough.
example, two brothers to sign a contract.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Because you trust each other.
Try to
blindly.
explain that to like people coming from this culture. Like, okay, hey, now you're brothers, sign a contract. You're like, are you crazy?
No, but this is the Islamic way.
Of course it is. We know
Islamic
that.
way,
But
yeah, true.
I'm talking about the
Yeah.
emotion here.
Yeah,
right?
we have to
Yeah.
sometimes take that out of the
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
out of the game. You know.
SubhanAllah, it's very and when you started a football agent, because that at that moment I think it's not England anymore for you.
No,
It's not only England.
It's not only England.
That's not your.
I mean, England's it's too small for people like us. Not in a boastful way or anything
Yeah.
like this.
Yes.
But you have like 1,000, 2,000 agents all doing the same thing, selling
There
the
is
same
a
story.
lot of-
So what's your USP there? What makes you different to the rest of the market?
I understand you.
So you know that took a lot of time and effort and thinking.
Yeah.
But alhamdulillah, we had a good team of people to think.
Yeah.
You know, there were people that were educated. That
So you had a group. You
we
formed
had
a group.
We formed a group of people.
Okay. And how did you find a group? Was it more like
It was more by
accidentally?
Qadr Allah.
Qadr Allah. We say Qadr Allah.
Qadr
Definitely.
Allah.
For people, Qadr Allah,
It's whatever
Tawakkul.
Allah wills. It's whatever Allah wills. The destiny.
destiny. Yeah.
I had met a friend after so many years. We went to university together. We both studied sport. I won't say the name, but you know the person. And he looked for me for a good. He went away to coach a national team for a good amount of years, and I hadn't seen him in years.
Yeah.
And then I was still working in the city for this company. And every branch that I'd go to and pay a visit, they were saying, somebody's called in for you. Somebody's called in. Somebody's looking for you. until finally the person got in touch. And then this person was like, I'm back in the country. So I said, okay, so we met. And then from that moment, at that moment, I'll tell you something. Agents' licenses were banned in 2015.
Okay.
They come back in 2017. So we were practicing then, but
Because
not
you need to
under-
do exams then at that moment.
No, they had stopped it
Okay, there, okay.
because they didn't know whether it moved from agents to intermediaries, right?
Yes, this is problem. In
Yeah.
the background, there is another agent also at this moment, so he knows.
Yeah, absolutely.
another-
So what they did is they started it again in 2017. And then that's where we already had things in mind. He said, look, I'll give you the support you need. But he was quite supportive in terms of saying, your hustle is this hustle. This is what you should do. You know how to look after people. You have the right
You
morals,
see the hustle in you,
values.
yeah.
You know, you can get things done. This is an important aspect. You know, some people can do everything else. They
Definitely.
can't get the job done. I mean.
Definitely. Yeah.
So me, I have nothing to lose in life. That's why I get the job done, because for me, it's like I had nothing. You know, my parents have nothing.
Exactly.
So what do we
yeah.
have to lose, really?
We are only winning.
So we
every
will-
step.
we have to win.
Yeah,
You know,
and if you look, he was your first one added to your group.
Alhamdulillah.
What's the name of the company?
So we sat down at the time, to be fair. The person that come up with the name at the time was actually a scout for Man United. I won't say names.
Yeah, definitely.
But he come up with the name, and then I kind of shortened it, abbreviations, it stuck. And then alhamdulillah, it's been...
I need to know the name.
So it's North South Sports Management. So
North-South Sports Management.
The name behind that was because half of us were based in the north and half based in the south.
Definitely.
Right.
So we don't do business east and west, just straight.
You just
north
stay
and
there.
south, brother.
So
Up
it's
and
like
down.
gangs.
Up and down. It's easy.
all right,
What,
all right.
what was the moment? Because again, you know,
Yeah.
you have a cushy job.
Yes.
You have your family to take care of.
True.
So it's a risk, right? Leaving the job and
Absolutely.
right. But what was the decisive moment in which you
Yeah.
were like, okay, you know what, I cannot do this job anymore. I have to go do that.
Brother,
Yeah,
to be
the
fair,
choice.
I did both things for a while.
Oh, you just like
I juggled
juggling.
both.
The
Right.
real hustle.
I juggled both.
I understand.
You know, some days I get home 11, 12 o'clock and I leave home, and this is not overdoing it, but I leave home 7 o'clock.
Right.
Because London's a busy city.
Yeah,
Most of the time, you know, it takes
Yeah.
an hour to get on the train here, there, whatever you need to do.
I feel you, man. Yeah.
But that was my day for a good 4 or 5 years.
I feel, but I think if everyone is sitting in this room, I think
Has the same type
has
of
the
hustle.
same type.
It's 11 p.m.
It's
right?
11 o'clock.
Yeah,
We're shooting this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's.
You know?
I think that's what makes this special. You know, I think the connection between each other is real. To be honest, the hustle mentality.
Yes.
But also the patience for each other.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise we couldn't realize this kind of things.
But also the values, I mean, the values. are
Definitely.
No, but
Definitely.
I look. I wanna just continue on this question.
Yeah, definitely, Joe. Go on.
Do you felt like you were like drawn? You had to go and do your own thing. Like you were just drawn to it. You cannot sleep because you have to do it.
Brother, I've always had this mentality that I will never wake up for my whole life
Right.
working for somebody.
Right. So you'd always had this.
If I say I don't want to go into work that day,
Yeah.
Right.
I don't go into work that day.
So you have vision, freedom,
So freedom is it.
Freedom?
Freedom from the system.
freedom from the system.
Freedom from taxes.
Yeah, and now let's go back to the thing that we like mentioned before. You know, there's a lot of like people from from the subcontinent being in the service industry.
Yes.
So obviously they're there working for someone else, and that's all they will do their whole life. And there's someone like you, like there's no way you can do that job.
No, you know,
Good question. Yeah.
What's the difference?
we're doing the service. I'm still working in service, but I'm charging English rates.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. Like take a typical taxi driver.
Yeah. So
Right.
it's still a service industry. What I'm doing is still service based.
It's a little bit. It's similar.
It's similar.
It's similar. Yeah, but
It's
in a
similar.
different way. In a different way.
It's bigger than what
Yeah.
our families did. So that
Yeah.
was a low end service, right?
Yes.
That was because they had no education behind
True.
them. They come
Yeah.
with no education, no schooling.
Yeah.
So they went low end, which we still see. There's still a lot of low end labor
Yeah,
service
yeah.
aspect. But now we've gone into high end service.
Yeah, I
you know,
understand you,
how
yeah.
do we make the high end service? Who do we look after now? Sports people.
Yeah.
You
Now,
know?
would you say that part of your upbringing from your cultural background is what really helps you to deal with people? Because I mean, you're dealing with football players, right?
Yeah.
There's two things, brother. So there's the values that you brought up with by your parents that helps you deal with it because
Right.
you know how to speak to people in the
Yes.
right manner, in the right
The respect and everything. Yeah, respect. Yeah.
the right conversation to have with the right person. That's taught there. The hustle's taught from seeing. You know.
Yeah, seeing.
I give you an example. I
Yes.
I have this supermarket near my house called Morrison's. It's a big supermarket.
Morrison's.
Me as a kid, you know what I used to see? I used to see my dad waiting in the cab, and then getting out of the cab, carrying maybe 5-6 bags,
Yeah,
putting in the back of the
yeah.
taxi,
Right.
and that where my fire come from. The fire comes from seeing that. You know, you see
Right.
that and you think, I need to make this better, man.
Yeah,
I need to make that change. And maybe
To be
sometimes-
honest, I feel that one. I think if I give a example exactly like this one, if you watch your mother without a car,
Yeah.
from the market walking to
Just walk. Yeah.
the walk,
Yes.
Did she have
From
the,
the market.
the thing,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
stroller thing?
she has the car
Yeah,
with her,
yeah,
her
that
own
one,
car.
Exactly.
But you remember this one?
You pull it.
stroller
Yeah.
is a new thing. Before it was bags,
Yeah, it was
plastic
bags.
bags.
But you see her walk from far.
yeah,
It's subhanAllah, and that walk, I think, it's not only fire. It's I don't know. It's something gross, you know, from youngs.
yeah, no, absolutely.
You know,
From
just a little bit of a funny story. I mean, this is not about me, but I think you'll appreciate the story.
Yeah.
Like my dad was he was sick, you know, and so we were on welfare, and I never knew we were poor
Yeah.
until like I think until I like really started to make my own money and I just realized like, what, that's actually. So we were 6 kids and on welfare, 6 kids, it's tough, right?
Yeah.
So he used to tell me, like, because he used to get the welfare check on the, I think it was like the first of the month.
Yeah.
I was just telling me, you know what, Wasim? The first of the month, dad's a rich man. He always used to tell me this. I was like, man, he's gonna be rich. So I can ask for this, you know?
Just
expecting to.
He never, like, I never realized we were poor. You know, so it's a mentality thing, you know.
Yeah.
Just because you know, it's like being poor and staying poor. I mean, look, with all respect, I know for a lot of people it's tough, but there are ways and avenues to basically grow out of it. You know, to work your way up.
I see that.
I think these possibilities are there for a lot of people, but
Yeah.
it's not always apparent, you know, for everyone
Yeah.
on how to like get out of it.
But I think your story and his story is a little bit similar, but in a different way. What you're saying about parents are very important in this part, I think, in your hustle part. But if we need to have a vision about your agent, is it more like socialize so much you can and then see the visions where you can?
Yeah, so look, planning is important.
Okay.
It's not everything because you don't know what the next day brings. That's the first thing. There's no guarantee of the next day.
And you work with humans, of course.
You work with humans,
Yes.
but we have to start thinking bigger.
Okay.
I can talk about the Muslim community now, right? You know, we have to start thinking bigger. We have a limit. We don't think we can get corporate. We don't think we can go big. You know, I'll give you an
Yeah.
example. You go to Asda, it's one of the biggest supermarkets in the UK.
Yeah.
And now we have Muslim entrepreneurs that own maybe 550 supermarkets.
Yeah. Also here. Yeah. I see
So,
what
you know, this is where the thinking comes now. I'll just give you a recent example. Recent example with the boycotting. And I'll give you an example where I thought the Muslims have done really well in the UK because we're not only the mayor of London,
Yeah.
we're solicitors, we're doctors, we're teachers, we're everything.
Yeah.
And I thought the Muslims have done really well. They've infiltrated everywhere. As soon as this boycott stuff happened, we had no brands. We only have corner shops. You know, we sell other people's brands.
Yeah.
When is our own brands? When
We
is the
sell other
clothing brands
people's
coming
brands.
in? When are the coffee shops that are coming in that are different? You know,
Yeah, I understand. Yeah,
this
yeah.
I only seen this through this period here. I thought,
Yeah.
what can we buy? Everything's off the list. You think
really
about
was.
this: clothing, food, everything's off the list. All the fast food.
Just to clarify, when you're talking about boycott, you're talking about the boycott against like the
Is it-
The Israeli
companies that
companies.
support
Companies,
yeah, absolutely.
basically BDS movement, right?
Absolutely.
Because of this whole Israel-Palestine conflict,
Yeah.
right? Maybe not everybody.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Just. good
But that's why
clarity.
we started our own merchandise. You see,
This is
we
why
got
we
hustle
hustle,
in
yeah.
different colors.
No,
Absolutely.
Sweaters.
it's true, but see, the part of it is, it's you know, it's Maslow's pyramid.
Yeah,
So you know, Maslow
yeah.
was some, I think it was Russian. You know, it's a
I
psychologist.
don't know exactly where it comes from, but
Yeah, so basically it's a pyramid, and like you move up, like in terms of, you know, on the lowest level is like you need food and shelter and stuff,
Yeah.
and then you go up and you want entertainment, and you go up, and then you want
Yeah,
enlightenment,
the more
and, you know,
luxury, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And just what you're saying, like, you know, like our parents, I think I speak for
Yeah.
everyone. They came from a background and they were just trying to make it better for their kids, right?
Yeah.
And alhamdulillah, they succeeded in that, and their kids have a better
Alhamdulillah.
life. They're sitting in front of these expensive
Definitely,
cameras
man,
and in these
definitely.
fancy places, you know.
Definitely.
And then we have to take it further,
Yes.
right? And these things take lifetimes.
Yeah.
Some people get lucky, they're
Sure.
able, you know.
They take generations, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
You know?
But if alhamdulillah, what you're saying is right about the children, but if you can give an advice as an agent for a child from the youth, he's looking up to you. What's your first advice, like an agent?
Listen to your parents.
That's the
First
first one.
advice. First advice. Listen to your parents.
They're all going like, man, this guy's crazy.
Yeah. And second advice, without parents.
Listen to your parents again.
Okay.
Second advice. Third as well.
No, but if the situation there with no parents,
Then you listen to your circle, entourage, your people around
Your
you,
elders.
your trusted people. You know, your small circle. You ask them for advice, and you ask people that will criticize you.
I'll give you an example. We're living in Holland, right? And to be honest, in Holland, everyone is in a situation is working for himself because why?
Individualistic.
Exactly.
Very individualistic.
It's very interesting, and the thing is because it's not like everyone's greedy, but it's like everyone's surviving. So everyone is not talking about other things of information. They are very scary because Holland is very small, intensity is high, a lot of companies, but I think that's different in England. I think, no? If you compare that.
I think in terms of England, the Muslims there, without being bad to the Dutch Muslims, we're probably 40, 50 years ahead of you.
No, I think more.
Maybe more.
That's
maybe more.
differently.
I'm being kind here for your audience, you know.
Yeah, I love
It's
it.
it's actually true. I mean, look, the reality is there's always like parts of it that if you have a smaller group that you can execute better on. So just in defense of our beautiful country, there are some aspects that I think actually are, I think just to, not to start a,
It's okay, brother. It's okay.
but to be thankful of, if you look, for example, at the Muslim community here in the Netherlands,
Yeah.
it's not like, for example, in the UK, what I have seen, my experience for my travel, it's much more like Pakistani Muslim community, Bengali Muslim community, right?
Yeah.
It's very segregated. With us, it's Muslim community, period.
It's very it's similar to America.
Yeah.
But you know what? Lately, it's changing because we're talking about a new generation of people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So
To mix,
look, I'll
yeah.
give you an example. The reason them communities worked separate in England is because when the Bangladeshis see the Pakistanis, they've been brought up on the 1972 war. It
Right,
causes
yeah,
division.
exactly, yeah.
They can't work together because they've become nationalists instead of Muslims. They start thinking country, you know, I'm Bangladeshi, we're all the same.
Yeah.
This is why these things happen now.
So there's a lot of separate.
The new generation now don't look at that because they can't remember 1972.
To be honest, today is my history lessons because before in my high school, high school and first school, every time when I get history lessons and stuff, it's boring. So I'm born in '93. I think you guys are born earlier than me. You're not younger than me. I
I'm
think.
82.
Okay, that's good. So I think for our new generation, history lessons all done. Doesn't mean like Muslims are Muslims, Christians so they don't make any separate anymore. But if you look like your agent, do you see difference between your players, like Muslim players, Christian players? Because
No, so look, this is in terms of treating them like people, they're exactly the same.
okay, that's
In
nice.
terms of the services we provide, that differs.
Okay,
Not footballing services.
no, okay. Is there a reason why behind?
I'll tell you why. I'll give you an example. And it's not the services we provide that are different. They can be the same. It depends if they want to purchase them services. So I'll give you an example. We work on a Sharia compliant model when we do investments for players. Muslim players don't want to go into riba. They don't want to invest in alcoholic companies.
Yes, I know.
They don't want to invest in pornography companies just to make money.
Yeah,
You know, all their money from becoming halal after retirement can become haram very quickly. There's a danger here. You know, there's a big danger here.
nice. Yeah,
But some of the non-Muslim players, for them, investment is investment. Their rules are different. Their rules of
Yeah.
engagement are different. So if you want to do that, then we can give you the advice. But what we say now is, why don't you take the Muslim option? Because it's still money,
still money.
you know?
It's positive. Yeah,
And you don't know, it might bless you more than you think. It could be.
yeah,
Because, you know, riba, interest is a big problem. You know?
I know.
Interest and tax, two things. Big,
Yeah.
big mushkila.
Mushkila. Translated in English for that.
Problem.
We'll put in the subtitle.
We're putting subtitles. I know.
Big
Yeah,
problem.
yeah,
Inshallah. Problem.
That's problem.
Big problem, mushkila. No, I think it's good to know for your background about people, but from the agency, we know each other. That's very beautiful about your story.
So look, I mean, we had a USP where we seen a market for something different,
Yeah,
and where our players were asking for something different,
yes,
where there was nothing provided for them in that market.
Yeah.
That example that I give you, a lot of players are going through that at the moment, because when you sign players, you sign the parents first, right? You know, and the parents don't look at ethics. They look
Yeah.
at who brings the money, who brings the deal on the table.
He's the first one.
That's the ethic.
it's the first one. Yeah,
But they don't understand what the ethics is behind that. Honestly, this is truthful. I've seen them agents happen. I've seen mom and dad get divorced. I've seen Mom run off with agent. Wallahi, I've seen everything. Because the values, ethics, and because
I recognize that, to be honest.
it happens. Brother. It happens.
It's happened. Yeah.
Mothers now running careers for the kids.
I know.
Father is working.
Yeah.
Mother is on the sideline saying, get in there, mate. Get in there,
Yeah.
mate.
He's the best one. Yeah, he's the best one. Yeah,
And
he's the best
you have
one.
these hijabis now working at football clubs, and it's like, do they know the game?
Yeah.
There's a missing piece. It's the
Yeah.
father figure is missing.
A brother figure also. Yeah.
Brother, because he's working, he's trying to put bread on the table for you.
Yes.
He doesn't have the time to come watch you all the time.
most of the time, what you see in mothers. Yeah. It's mothers.
Now it's getting a bit different.
Yes.
It's getting a bit different. But when we grew up and going on to that, so we seen an opportunity. We thought, this is what speaking to players, speaking to people in football,
Give them attention. Give them the
hearing
attention.
the stories about what's happened to this player, what happened to that player, what happened to that. And then you think,
So it's more than football only. Yeah.
Brother, it's life.
It's life.
After football, what do? It's finished.
True.
Then you start life. Then you start thinking, Allah.
So you give him in business. In a business, you give him a big brother, mother.
Big brother, and then obviously we try guide them Islamically where we can.
Yes.
We can't we're not the haram police,
Yes.
but at the same time, if we can give advice, then
Haram police. That's always another.
then we give a bit of advice.
Easy to find them.
Easy to find.
Yeah, we give a bit of advice where we can.
Nice.
If we can, just because we've made the mistakes ourselves,
yeah.
and we don't want to see it being made again to our
Yeah,
brothers.
yeah.
That's
Because before we go to Qatar, that's what I'm.
I feel like we stepped over something important here
Yeah.
because you spoke about like how you got started.
Yeah.
And then you spoke about having a bunch of players, dealing with players.
Between that.
There's a phase in between.
Yeah,
There
a
is.
process between that.
How did your first one go? I can imagine there was some.
So, brother, if I tell you my first 2 years, I must have knocked on certain doors 5-6 times and been rejected.
See, that's the
Wallah.
hustle.
I don't tell these stories to
I know.
many people apart from my close friends,
Yeah.
but they know how many people have rejected me. But it doesn't stop me going the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th time.
Gives
I'll keep
you more energy.
I will keep going until the door stays open.
Yes. It
This
gives you more energy.
Exactly.
It gives
And
you more
how
energy.
how do you deal with that rejection? Like for me personally, rejection. Like someone rejects me, like that's the end of the story. I leave.
But brother, for me, I never had that anyway. So what am I
Right.
losing?
Yeah. And it's not like you're staying at the same player. You hustle. Your grind goes to other
you
players.
go to other players.
And that player who rejected you, he's realizing how you work.
Or you
ethic
see
is, and
something
all this-
done for a player and then he thinks.
Then he
mistakes.
thinks, yes. What we think, I think, in the football industry, to be honest, because I'm also in the football industry, is there is a lot of big companies with big investments. So the work ethic of them is very difficult and different than your work ethic. I think what's your unique selling point is you're patient. What's the difference between them, the big companies?
It's very personal.
Personal, okay. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what I mean by personal. Not seeing the player speaking to him every day, every 2 days. Friendship. Like I speak to my brother, I speak to my players.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be football. To be fair, we very rarely talk about football.
Yeah, no.
How's your mum? How's your dad? What's
Yes.
happened here? Arsenal won. Man United lost.
Yeah. I see your gunner.
Yeah.
Arsenal one. I see that. Okay.
These are the things. These are the
Yeah.
conversations we've had. What's
Yeah.
happening? Any investments? How are the rest of the boys? Do you want to do
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
These are the conversations. But we're constant. Then not only that, pick up with the parents. Make sure the parents are all right. It can't just be the deal done and you don't speak to them ever again. I just moved a player to Qatar.
Yeah.
And I'm in constant contact with his father. I
Alhamdulillah,
have an amana to look after his kid.
Yeah.
So I need
responsibility,
to make sure,
feeling the responsibility. Yeah.
Amana being
Yeah.
trust.
deep
Yeah.
responsibility,
And then I have to, that's my job.
Because if you went to Qatar, your first play, your deal and everything, did you thought also about other investment? Because you've seen Qatar, you've seen Dubai, you've seen the Arabia side.
We did. So look, the first thing is that we're a UK-based agency.
Yes.
So the first work we do is in the UK.
Definitely.
And the type of players we target, North African, it's what we
With a
started
purpose or?
It was with a purpose because we knew that we understand that market better,
Yeah.
we control it better, we understand it better,
Yeah.
we can execute it better. So that's why we went into that market, and that market's grown for us. And we knew our space. So now when people look at a player, whether it's in the UK, Qatar, or in Europe,
Yeah.
the first things is if it's a Moroccan, if it's Tunisian, if it's Egyptian, the first thing they'll think, these guys will know something about it. So they'll try call us, even if it's not our player. Do you know this player, or do you know this?
Advice, yeah.
And then it goes on from there.
Yeah, okay, then lovely.
So that was, and plus we had to look at the access. access to players. You know,
Yeah.
most of my business partners are from North Africa,
Yes.
so the access they have
Was already there.
is from North Africa.
Was
so
already there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Alhamdulillah,
Alhamdulillah. It's-
alhamdulillah.
When you went from England to Qatar, you went also to Holland.
Yeah, so Holland 2 years ago. This is where I met
Me-
yourself.
yeah.
I was put through a mutual friend.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, the rest is history.
There was history.
The rest
Alhamdulillah.
is
We're sitting
history.
here right there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Alhamdulillah, we're here today.
I think was not Ramadan. I think was it
No,
was it Ramadan? Was it Ramadan, Farhan? Or was
October.
October? Okay.
It was cold.
It was for them. It's everything cold, bro.
Yeah.
There is
cold.
today is one of the hottest days. Trust me with this. I'm giving trainings and stuff, shouting to the guys. I don't need a jacket. From far away, I see Kamran 2 jackets, hats on.
Brother, it's cold. No, but I've come from Qatar 3 days ago.
Oh yeah. Then it's cold, right?
So for me,
Yeah, that's
coming
different.
from 29,
yeah.
this felt like -5 today.
Okay.
It's because of the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
wind.
that.
Okay,
There's
I
that.
understand you.
Hey, let me ask you a
Yeah.
question about you. You're now active in the Middle East, right?
Yeah.
How's that experience been for you? Like, how do you feel like?
Very different to the one in the UK.
Yeah.
Again, Qadr Allah, it come by a bit of chance, but a bit of risk as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was both things.
Why
So-
risk?
The reason why it was a risk because 3 or 4 years ago we decided we want to take our players on a camp. Let's do something for them to get to know each other. They have other friends in football. Football can be lonely, right? For players.
Community, yeah.
Yeah, it can be very lonely. Sometimes you need to get on the phone and speak to another player who understands you. Do you have that? Maybe sometimes in your dressing room you don't have that player. So they made friends. We paid for everything. It was a success.
Yeah.
So from the back of that, we met some contacts in Qatar.
Yeah.
They trusted us with business. They liked the ideas, the planning, the attention to detail, the due diligence. They understood that at the least. Then we did our first deal, and alhamdulillah, it went really well, and the rest is alhamdulillah history.
To be honest, when he posted that deal online, so at Instagram and everything, to be honest, I felt happiness,
Alhamdulillah.
Because you know why? Because 2 years ago when I went to England, they were busy with that process.
Right.
So
The
when you see,
culmination of yeah.
and there's only you, there's also someone behind the scenes. He's also doing that process exactly similar, but in Holland. He's working also in Italy right now and things. The beautiful thing is, I've seen that process, but I'm really happy for you. But I think there's another side of people who are really jealous. Or
Yeah, brother, that's Ain Evil Eye. We all know about it.
yes,
So brother, there was a time where I had a player, my first player ever, good player. We're not together no more, but he was constantly injured. There was time where he'd come to my house. This is no joke. I'd do ruqya on him. I was like, "What is this, man?" Like injury.
Yeah.
First of all, for the player, then my own pocket. I'm
Yeah,
thinking,
yeah.
this is an investment. It's a bad investment. Then I thought, what is it? Is it Ain? Is it Evil Eye? Then I started praying. I said, brother, pray ruqya. We started giving charity together. Every month, the player would say, look, give this money here. I don't know what it is. Now, alhamdulillah, he's back, he's fit, he's playing somewhere else, he's got rizq.
Alhamdulillah. But
That-
you're happy for him.
That's
That's beautiful, man, brother. Yeah, that's
Alhamdulillah.
beautiful because it's hard to have a heart inside that business.
Yeah, you have to have a heart, brother.
So about this
Yeah.
this experience in the Middle East, right?
Yeah.
Are you finding it's a different culture, right?
Yeah.
Totally.
Are you finding that it's like hard to deal with things like, for example, here in, let's say in Western Europe, UK, we're used to like if you say something, it's actually what you're gonna do at the time
Yeah.
that you said that you were gonna do it. But are you finding it's hard to with that sort of very strict mentality?
It
in the Middle
is.
East?
Look, I always say to people when you go to the Middle East, you take a pinch of salt when they say inshallah.
Yeah, that,
You know?
that's yeah.
That inshallah is a different one.
It's a different
There's
one.
2 different types of
Okay.
inshallahs. Yeah.
Also the eye contact, I think.
One's inshallah yes, and one's inshallah okay. I need to get rid of you.
Yeah.
There's 2 different types. Qatar, you get the other type.
So you're very careful.
You have to be careful. And it's not easy. It's a closed society. It's not easy to get in. You need to have connections. You need to prove yourself. You need to evidence your work. Once
So-
you do them things
Yeah.
and you're good to deal with,
Yes.
for them it's easy.
So that means time investment. Very
Time
patient.
investment.
time
And you have to
investment.
be patient yourself, man. You have to be patient.
Because-
Because you work on their time.
Yeah.
It's a long time. In Europe, we're used to, I asked you this 3 days ago. I need an answer.
Yeah.
There, don't push it.
Because you're
You
familiar,
lose.
right?
No,
In-
you-
I'm
In Qatar.
I'm not with Qatar specifically,
Or-
but Middle East.
Yeah,
Same
Middle
culture,
East.
same type of-
Dubai.
Yeah, you recognize
Abu
that?
Dhabi. Well, yes, I very much recognize that, and also there is like a weird side to it. Like, yes, they do it on their time, but if they want something,
It's got to be
yesterday.
24 hours.
Yeah, it's yesterday.
Oh,
You know?
so yeah.
And I've experienced.
It's a little bit hypocrite. Then.
Yeah,
Well,
it is.
Not like a hypocrite, but business hypocrite, you can say.
Yeah, it's a region that
Yeah.
they got blessed with
Wealth.
with wealth,
With wealth, yeah.
and it was basically overnight. And there's this story. But I don't even know if it's true, but
Yeah.
apparently there was some Saudi businessman or minister. I don't remember.
Yeah.
He's saying like, yeah, my dad was poor. I was filthy rich. My son is probably again gonna be poor. Sort of that.
Cycle.
Yeah, that cycle.
Yeah.
And there is it's on one hand it's beautiful to operate in these regions because you're working in a Muslim country.
Big volumes.
Yeah, the volumes.
Yeah,
of course. The wealth is there that's a fact, right?
Yeah.
But I also have found that a lot of this hesitation and a lot of this sort of being very critical from the local people, like in the Middle East, working with Europeans, is because they got screwed over in the past so much.
Absolutely.
You know?
Trust is a big thing.
Yeah.
Trust is everything.
Yeah.
I think once you have the trust, it's easier to get a response. Then you have everything. But you have to build that trust first. And some people are not willing to wait 2-3 years to make the trust. Because their project is not long term, their vision is not long term, they're thinking their dream is not long term. They're thinking if we can get this in 1 year, we're sorted. Our thing is, how do we make generational wealth? How do we make wealth so we can keep doing it again and again and again and again? So maybe what, I can have my children, my nephews come in and take over the business.
And to be fair, that transition is also happening. I've kind of seen that, and also to be fair, once you go through this process, and someone gives you their word. That's sacred, and that's this. Like I said, every place it has its positive sides,
positive sides and negative sides. And if you look to the future now, like what's your plans? What's in your mind?
My mind is obviously the first thing we spoke about, which is that I want to obviously make money from the business, grow the business. That's one thing. I'll come back to that in a second. The second thing is I want to be able to give back good things, so I'll give you an example. So I love projects, I love going to make a masjid somewhere,
Inshallah.
or water well somewhere. Or,
I got the real inshallah for you.
Inshallah. And then, for me, it has to lead to something. Money has to be, this is an investment, so everybody will spend on the stock market, they'll have projects, but they'll never look at this because the yaqeen is not there fully, truly there to believe that we're going to benefit off this.
Exactly.
But you see that in life later on. Maybe you give charity and the next year you think, what, I've saved a lot of money this year. But normally you wasn't saving money. Little things. And you'll only know when you start doing that. And this is what I want my players to do. So I had this idea, this vision to create, and inshallah it will happen, I'm thinking over the next couple of years, to have a Muslim fund just from football.
Muslim fund.
Okay, I'll tell you what I mean by the Muslim fund.
Like Nujum Sports?
No.
Okay.
So I was going to get a fund together of maybe start with my own players, inshallah. Once they have big contracts and they can do it, is to donate their zakat into a fund, 2.5% from every player. Make a big fund, not your 20,000, maybe $1 million, $1.5 million, and do a project every year. Let the player
especially
choose. For certain region, certain country, we'll have the projects together. The players can choose, I want to do this in Gaza, or I want to do this in Pakistan, or I want to do this in Morocco,
opportunities for them.
or I want to do this in Congo. That's up to them. But every year we will do something different. But the reason we'll do it from the Muslim fund, because it's bigger. The fund is bigger. You're not collecting off the same people again and again, £20, £10, £20, £100, £200.
No.
Everybody's zakat's different, right?
Yes, true.
But with them, they have the money.
But are other religions also welcome if they want to?
Of course.
Okay, yeah. But the Muslim fund is more an ID. The working off.
The reason it is because it's one of the pillars for us to pay zakat.
True.
So the first, it's an obligation.
Yeah,
we have to do it. We don't have a choice. We
Yes.
have to do it. But who's going to remind them?
Definitely.
You understand? Who's going to remind them? It's our job.
Definitely.
That's why I come into this twofold. I thought I want this from it,
Yeah.
and I want the dunya, But I want I've got to have both.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try to, inshallah, have both.
To have a balance,
To
inshallah.
have a balance, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have to be comfortable here as well, right? I mean,
Yeah, definitely. You're right,
you
brother.
have to be comfortable here.
I'm very happy to you have, alhamdulillah, inshallah, bright future, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yes.
So what we're doing now, obviously, because I knew there was a Pakistani community coming into sports, because the generations changed.
Yes,
When my generation was my father working in a taxi,
exactly.
the new generation is mother's a teacher, dad works for an IT company. They earn maybe £100,000.
Everyone is moving.
They've got time to put. It's not about doctors no more.
Yeah,
It's let's push them in sports. So they're now coming into the academies.
yes,
But I want them to have an agent that understands their culture. I know nobody else does. I need to bridge that gap.
yes, yeah, I feel you.
You know, how does another agent who doesn't understand zakat, sadaqah, the pillars,
Yeah,
how
yeah,
can
yeah.
they influence that Muslim play? Apart from the football,
Yeah,
how can they influence it?
nice.
How does it happen?
Very nice, to be honest.
Doesn't happen, right?
Doesn't happen, yeah. Because I don't think a lot of people think about people.
No, investments happen.
Yes.
Investments happen, but
Yes.
they don't know the rules behind the investment, right? This is why I was speaking at the start about halal being earned over 10, 15 years can become haram very quickly, bro.
Yeah, in one step, yeah. It's very, to be honest, it's not only inspiration for other ones, but I think it's very hard to realize that.
Bro.
Because people are, you know,
And I'll tell
hard-
you the funny thing is, I mean, it's your own people that don't think it will happen.
yeah, yeah.
You know, Allah, this is the truth.
SubhanAllah.
But then sometimes, you know, seeing is believing, right?
Yes, definitely.
We live in a world where we see a lot of
Because at the first time I saw him with the other partners also over in England, and I'm talking about people at ages and stuff, and more people far up, Kamran. I saw a Pakistani family, and there was two Moroccans between me and Brahim. It was a good mix, but what I saw is chances because I know what they was busy about. They know what we're doing about, but not everyone is believing. But it's hard to tell some people about your plans because they don't see your vision. You understand me, Wasim? So
Yeah, you know, the thing is,
That's-
it's hard for people to have a fantasy.
that's more than
You
fantasy.
know,
Yeah.
it's a lot of people that hustle. They have a fantasy. They can like imagine what the future
Imagine, yeah,
will
yeah.
look like. You know, but not everybody can do this.
Yeah.
And that's just a reality of life.
Real reality, yeah. Because give example, right? My vision was all right, Kamran, we're gonna work inshallah with sports industry, but I got other Pakistani brothers. We're meeting one day and we're thinking, all right, we have a beautiful room. Alhamdulillah, a lot of inspiration from each other. Everyone is hustling. Look where we're sitting.
You know, I have an
You understand me?
idea. I have an idea for the Hustle Brothers, but I will do it off air, inshallah. That's where the hustle starts. I have something in mind.
Inshallah,
Maybe,
very beautiful.
maybe.
Sure thing. We're down.
And inshallah, I'm thinking, look the funny part of this one. Look the funny part of this one. Sometimes I'm crazy, you know that. He said, I'm thinking about something about future, but if I give you the first letter, and if it's correct, I will definitely stop this podcast. I will go on.
Khalas.
Give you one letter? If it's right?
Yeah.
Okay. Start this with letter N?
N?
Yeah.
No.
But
No, you have to extend it.
yeah?
No,
It's-
it might be in Dutch. It might be N. You're
see?
thinking Netherlands. No, it's not N. You're thinking Netherlands.
You sure?
Yeah,
Almost there?
very close.
So a head like this, almost close.
It starts with a M.
Let's do his 10 questions.
Exactly. We're going to 10 questions. Inshallah, soon in the comments, I will text this answer, inshallah, but don't worry. But I was close.
Inshallah. You were close.
One letter close.
Yeah, but then it changes the full meaning, brother.
Okay. okay. Okay, that's good. End of the podcast, what we're going to do is I give you 10 questions. Normally, we do 10 questions, different industries, about your hobbies, about your past, present, future. Inshallah, what we're going to do today is we have the audience with us today, inshallah. So I give every audience, I give one question to them.
Inshallah.
And they will tell me the question. I will explain to you because of the microphone. So everyone is audience. I got 5 people now. It's no million, not 100,000. I just 5 because of the space here. No, sorry, we got 5 over there, 2 over there in the behind the scenes.
the
They do
booth,
it there.
yeah.
And was him also 8.
I mean, this is Dutch counting, yeah.
No, we have 5 over there. Look, 5, 2 over there, 7, 8, 9. You're gonna finish the last question.
He's the cameraman.
You ready?
Halas.
Ajas, do you have one question? And it's a question, you need to give him two answers. Like I give you example, you're Arsenal or you're Liverpool.
So you get two options.
Two options.
Two words,
Just
two options.
give-
You have to choose one.
He needs to choose one.
Well, my question to him is, why did you support Liverpool?
No. Listen, Ajas. Give him just Manchester, Liverpool. He needs directly.
Oh, okay, yeah, one or the other.
Yeah.
I need to repeat the question.
Yeah, I need to repeat the question, yeah.
Ice cream or milkshakes?
Ice cream.
Tell me yourself, it needs to go fast. Just go on.
It must be a question like that.
Yes.
Oh, it's not question.
It's just, he gives two answers in one option. So the first one was ice cream or milkshakes. What was your guess?
Ice cream.
Ice cream. Second one?
We asked this to all the coaches. For what can we wake you up in the night? To travel or to eat food?
Travel or eat food?
To travel.
To travel.
Trevor. Nice.
Yeah, 100% travel.
Amsterdam or Rotterdam?
Amsterdam or Rotterdam?
Eindhoven.
No, you have to
have
pick
to
one.
choose one.
I will go with Rotterdam at the moment.
Hey.
But at the moment sounds very, politically correct.
No, because I need to spend a bit more time here, get the feel like you have to get a feel of a city. I need to come in the summer.
Yeah, it's very
Every
different.
time I come,
yeah.
it's cold and I don't like it because of the cold.
Okay, definitely.
But if I come in the summer, maybe it looks like.
If you come in Qatar from the summer, it's still gonna be cold.
No, but if I come here in the summer, then maybe it looks like a different place.
Yeah,
Sure.
but that's what I'm saying. If you come from Qatar, it's still gonna be cold.
No, I've gone in the winter to Qatar.
Okay, that's good.
So it might be okay.
Yusuf.
Dunya or
Oh,
akhirah?
always akhirah.
Always
Nice.
akhirah, always
akhirah. Greg.
Football or real estate?
Football or real estate?
That's a hard one. I would go real estate
Real estate.
Why?
because real estate is future investments.
My guy, he said my guy.
Future investments.
All right, nice.
Football is entertainment.
True.
You win sometimes, you lose sometimes.
Yeah. Osman.
Doing business in UK or doing business in Qatar?
Dude, that was my question.
Yeah, I'm first.
You're first. So doing business in UK or doing business in Qatar?
I'd say at the moment Qatar 100%.
Yeah? Ali.
Arties or heavenly desserts?
Wait. What? Tell me, give me again.
Ali, I haven't been to either.
What was the question?
Archie's or heavenly desserts.
Like, okay, so that's a very.
I'd go Archie's anyway.
What's that? Give me
It's two big food brands in Manchester. One does burgers. It's the best.
Punjabi
burgers.
food or?
No, burgers.
Oh, burgers.
Yeah, burgers.
Ali always something Punjabi or something.
Archie doesn't sound Punjabi.
No.
Archie.
And
Archie, yeah, but
heavenly desserts.
Okay.
Desserts.
Sorry. Okay.
Alhamdulillah.
But Archie, okay. But he didn't went to that.
I went Archie's.
He went Archie's.
I went Archie's.
Okay. And you was it?
So he took my question, right? So I have
Yeah.
to kind of expand on it. So
Hustle,
in terms
you're
of your
right.
future hustle, Qatar or Saudi Arabia?
Saudi.
You should talk about this. Actually, this is really interesting.
Very
Why?
interesting. Give him.
Because I'm now with the son.
Right.
I want to sit with the father.
Hmm.
Make sense?
Yeah. That's.
Yeah.
You gotta drop the mic, right?
He's dropped the mic, serious.
But just in terms for educating the viewers, right?
Yeah.
Do you foresee that the market in your in your field, is it like, do you see it expanding in front of you?
Yeah, especially in that region. So just to give you an example why I said Saudi. So Saudi has a 40 million population compared to a Qatari population of 4 million. The stadiums are bigger, they're full, massive about football, but they've got a budget to use by the entertainment Sheikh Turki, if I'm right. Maybe I've got his name wrong, Sheikh Turki. He has a budget of 30 billion to use just on football, up until 2030.
How much?
30 billion. So when
That's a lot of
people
money.
talk to me about China and they say this is China, it's not. They've stopped the oil wells. When they want to pump again, we spend again. No problem. But there's a lot of money to be made.
In the 30 billion, there's Kamran. There's also.
Somewhere, there's me and Gregory somewhere.
Hustling, swimming in money.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely. For me, to be honest, patience with small companies or big deals with big companies?
No, we grow together. Small companies, we grow together, man. There's the whole thing about the hustle is to grow together.
You see the
know,
podcast? This is why podcast
you
is...
have to hustle together. You
Nice.
can't. You look, big companies only deal with big companies. Corporations deal with corporations. Yeah. Small people deal with small people. Mergers that happen from smaller people.
True.
It's smaller people with the same thinking, saying, "Look, we're up against them. Let's do it together. We all eat together, but otherwise they will eat us all up."
Definitely, yeah.
You know, this is important.
The last question is for yourself. Like, if you want to give yourself a question, give yourself two options. Like, think about your private life and your business life. What do you...
Brother, it's going to be along a religious line. Don't leave your prayer for anything, business or personal. That's
Prayer
what
stays always in the middle.
it's the pillar for everything else. So the life should be made around prayer. Whether it's business, whether it's family, whether it's, you know, football, whether it's this, it should be around prayer. You know, this is the path to success, inshallah.
Inshallah. A beautiful podcast. I appreciate you very much, Wasim. And Kamran, the
you.
thing is, to be honest, there's not of...
There should be I will come for the part 2, inshallah.
Inshallah.
You know, like Fire in the Booth, part 2, 3 and 4, 5. Maybe you
Just
want me.
take it to part 100, trust me.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. No, the thing is,
Inshallah.
inshallah, it's lovely to have you here, guys. To be honest, a lot of knowledge for me. A lot of information, alhamdulillah, too, from you, Wasim, also, and from Kamran. Appreciate the man behind the scene, the audience, and everything, for also realizing this, because I think to have a conversation about our life, private or business, is for a lot of people maybe inspiration, maybe for a lot of people boring, but I still see you watching. So
Inshallah.
enjoy Podcast Hustle coming soon with Kamran from London, Wasim from Holland, straight to Saudi Arabia, Dubai, and Qatar.
Bradford.
And Bradford. Sorry, man. I say London, but
Bradford.
it's
okay.
Bradford.
It's okay.
No, and we finish
okay,
this
Bradford.
podcast. Have a good day. Till
Alhamdulillah.
soon, inshallah. Take care.
Alhamdulillah.
son.
Assalamu alaikum.